My first pick is
I'm gonna show you how great We're not worthy.
I said, empty your mind.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that
woman. All right.
so.
I
Let's get
can't
started.
say how excited I am. But before we get started, I am Will, your all-knowing, all-powerful, all never wrong historian who knows everything about everything, only to be challenged by the man sitting hypothetically, theoretically across from me.
Yeah, so I am Garcia. Look, I've known this guy for a long time. We taught together in Dallas for like, what was it, 4 or 5 years, something like that.
It was.
I am the guy to not only challenge him, but to dethrone him from his all-time ego-boosting chair that has reached the stratosphere, unknown to man. Only I have climbed that version of Mount Olympus. So we want to. Go ahead.
Even though we went our separate ways, there's still one thing that this man used to say that I still tell everybody. I always, always, always have to be right, and I'm never right. And he is okay being wrong, but is never wrong.
I'll say this also. We wanted to bring this podcast to you because that's what we've always done. We've always debated. We are called Cancel Teachers Talk, versus edition. We used to do an audio podcast just called Cancel Teachers, and now we want to bring it down into the YouTube form and express to everybody, one, how crazy we are, and how right I always am. So it's a genuine form of Clash of the Titans, except apparently I am Superman. So go ahead.
All right.
So what's today's episode?
We went back and forth for a while, and obviously we've talked about quite a few different things, but with what's on the horizon in the world and all the things we could talk about, there's nothing that is on the minds of any man and most women. Football. It's football season. We waited. And
What has it been? 6 months? Literally the longest 6 months in human history. And we are finally here with the great distraction. Talk to me.
And if you're a Cowboy fan, it's been about 8 months.
Oh, bro. Why do you have to bury me? By the way, we try to be as, up to date as possible. So, yes, I am aware of the Michael Parsons trade. I am a Cowboy fan. And as you can see behind me, I have my cowboy helmet right there, mini helmet. But that will be a running joke probably throughout the history of the show. Even if we're talking about political, historical, talking about movies or music, I'm pretty sure Howlett will find a way to zing me with the Cowboys.
Hey, I mean, I only have a certain amount of ammunition I could use against you, and the Cowboys is like a bazooka sitting in my back pocket.
That's my only unfortunately downfall. But here's the format of the show. So the format of the show is, for today's episode, we are doing the greatest offensive draft since the Super Bowl era. And maybe next week we'll do the defensive draft, but we're also going to do a Mount Rushmore portion. And that is going to be greatest alternative / retro jerseys in NFL history. All right,
so
my man. So go for it.
And we've done this quite a few times. We are drafting one position at a time.
Right.
The greatest players, in our opinion, of all time.
Yes.
It's obviously it's opinionated. So those of you who are going to be watching this, don't kill us, because he's going to make some really bad decisions. And
No.
I mean, we're open for comments, but this is our opinion on who the greatest players of all time are. And let's just get it started. We'll start with the cream
All,
of the crop, the position of all positions. But first, what you got to say?
so what we're gonna do first, we don't know
Is
who to go for. Who's gonna be the first pick?
That's what I was
And
going to do.
obviously, I mean, the first pick is very important. So I am going to do a spinner
Oh, see,
generator.
look at that. This guy's already. I had to look at on my phone. I had to
Yes.
flip a coin. So yours looks way more beautiful. Sponsored by Rolaids down in the bottom corner.
By the way, can you see me? Well, because I have
I,
the big screen up.
yes,
Yeah.
I could see you. They could see
Okay.
you.
All
You
right.
could
So I'll
see the
edit that
spinner.
part out.
Here we
All
go.
right.
First pick right here.
So whoever
I need
gets
it.
this pick is number one.
It's all right. It's quarterback.
Yeah. Well, maybe,
You
maybe not.
Oh, we're gonna go every position.
Oh, one every
Oh,
position, and I get the first pick, baby.
all right. All right.
Garcia in the house.
Oh, it even has sound effects and everything. Look at
Yep.
this guy. Look
Yeah.
at this guy.
I have evolved in my
All right.
technological advancements. But, anyways, okay. So I thought about it long and clear. Is the quarterback the most important position when building a team? And then I was thinking, like, you know what? All these guys are first tier Hall of Famers. There's a famous saying out there that the Hall of Fame in the NFL, there's levels to it.
There
There's
is in fact.
very few that get to the top level, and then there's everybody else. I think Michael Irvin said that, my boy. And then I was thinking, like, so everybody who, no matter who you pick, is going to be a great pick. So I am going to shock the world with my first pick. Yes, it is a quarterback.
Really.
And
All this
I
talk,
am,
we're gonna go quarterback.
yes, all this talk. Or you know what? Now I think I might change my mind. I'm just joking. My first pick is Joe Montana as
Oh,
my first pick. Let me explain why.
go
As a
for it.
highlight plays. Look, man, I grew up in this era in the 1980s. Okay. And what I remember most about Joe Montana is that it felt like he never lost a damn game. Even my dad, who, watched him throughout college, it felt like he never lost a damn game. He ended my Cowboys franchise with the catch to Clark in the back of the end zone. This is a guy when it comes to his stats in the big game, and this is why I chose Joe Montana. I'm not picking a team for fun. I'm picking a team to save my life, a team to save me against the Monstars. I am picking a team that I feel confident this team will win me the game. I don't need the flash. Yes, are there flashy players that'll probably draft? Absolutely. But you're talking to a guy who 8 Pro Bowls, 2 NFL MVPs. If I'm not mistaken, he threw 11 touchdowns with 0 interceptions, 3 times Super Bowl MVP. I mean, bro, undefeated. That is my number one pick, Joe Montana. Let me know in the comments how much of an idiot I am because I am not. I am fighting to save my life and to save the world. All right. First
All
pick for you.
right. And my first pick, obviously, I don't need to take quarterback anymore because you took a quarterback, so I can let
Yes.
that quarterback position slide.
Yes.
So after you bestowed upon me that knowledge of why Joe Montana is the greatest player of all time, my first pick is going to be his counterpart, Jerry Rice.
Oh, lovely.
Now, Jerry
Jerry Rice is
Rice,
good.
hey,
Jerry Rice is good.
statistically, he is the greatest pass catching receiver of all time. There's no, you can't lie you can't lie about statistics. The next closest guy is Larry Fitzgerald. There's a chance. I mean, I might take him too, but who knows? We'll go that direction later. But Jerry Rice statistically is the greatest receiver of all time. He showed he could do it outside of Joe Montana. He made Steve Young a monster. I mean, I have to say everything you said about Joe Montana is 100% true about Jerry Rice as well. So Jerry Rice, my number one pick.
Jerry Rice, look, great player. I was not a fan because he broke my team's heart over and over again. It was quite annoying. Okay. Um, with my second pick, I decided. Now, speaking of a team that would save my life, I decided to go with a freak of nature, and I think that was actually his nickname, the Freak. And I'm going to go Randy
Mm,
Moss.
Randy Moss. That's a good
Randy
pick.
bleeping Moss. Now, look, he never won the big game. I mean, he was there for that Patriot team that went undefeated. But to me, that wasn't his fault. That was more of a Belichick slash Tom Brady. They just met their match against the New York Giants. They couldn't put them away. Slow moving game. But let's talk about Randy Moss, another guy who was supposed to be a Dallas Cowboy. He wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy, yet we drafted Greg Ellis, a defensive end, for which I don't know what the hell we were thinking. Okay. But that guy, bro, obliterated us. He took over the league. I mean, yeah, do you have like a little bit of quit in him? Yes. But when he was inspired, there was no receiver like him. Then there was no receiver like him pretty much now. So that is my second pick.
All
Go
right,
for it.
Randy Moss, great pick.
Hold on.
Uh,
Real quickly, let's tell the fans what the lineup looks like. So it should be one quarterback, two running backs, two
Two receivers,
receivers, one tight end,
one tight
and
end.
one per offensive line, and one kicker. All right, go ahead.
Yes. Now, going back to Randy Moss, I grew up. My dad's a diehard Raider fan. He's a Raiders season ticket holder,
Yeah.
and probably the greatest moment of his life when the Raiders swooped on Randy Moss, and then also the greatest moment of disappointment was when Randy Moss decided he didn't want to play for the Oakland Raiders anymore. Uh, so, Randy Moss, I grew up watching him. I the ups and the downs, but you can't deny how special he was. Maybe not with the Raiders, but definitely with Minnesota and New England. He got his rings, and he showed the world. There's, I mean, I still have kids. I'm a football coach, and I still have kids who, when they go up and they head top somebody, they catch a ball over his head. They said,
Yeah.
"You've been mossed," and
Right.
I mean, it's almost like when you shoot a piece of paper into a trash can, you say Kobe or Jordan, or the idiot kids nowadays that yell Curry. That's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
But Randy Moss
I agree.
has transcended time. Good pick. So
Thank you, sir.
my next pick, um, I'm gonna go running back. First
All
running
right.
back off the board. I'm gonna go with, this is a hard one. It was a hard one, but I'm gonna go Walter Payton.
Mm.
And I know what you're gonna say, but there's a reason why his nickname was Sweetness.
Okay.
He is There's very few running backs in the history of the game that moved like him, that had the power like him, that could do everything that you needed a running back to do. We've had receiving backs, we've had power backs, we've had speed backs, and he was all of the above.
It was full
Uh,
package. Full package.
Full package. I know what you're going to say. He never won, but I'm going to surround him with players that he can't help but win. So you put him on a team of greatness. You put him against the
Yeah. He's
Monstars.
he's gonna he's gonna run wild for sure.
Yes. So I'm going to go Walter Payton with my second pick.
Look, this is for the fans. Howlett and I, we talk all the time. We trash talk all day long. And we had this conversation. We kind of had a pre-episode before this, but not really. And he told me about Walter Payton, and I was like, go for it, man. The problem I have with him was that his one time in the show, and let's not get it twisted. He had probably the greatest team of all time on that team of all time in NFL history. Yet, if I'm not mistaken, I think he had like 60 or 61, 65 yards with zero touchdowns. And who stole his touchdown? William the Refrigerator Perry. To me, that's not big game worthy. I need a running back that I know can not only take over a game, but accept the challenge. And there is no question who the leader is. Now, before where is it? Before I show you guys who I'm going to pick, I want to show you the image that inspired this entire conversation. And it is this
Well, he's
one.
well, he's
Go
pulling up
ahead.
this
Go ahead.
image.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna. I want to comment on your statement that his first time in the show he laid an egg. Let me just.
Well, they're okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. But
Joe Montana in his first 2 playoff games, he threw 4 interceptions.
what about the Super Bowl, my man? And look, I'm showing you this picture here
Okay, let's see it.
because it's the all-time offense, all-time defense, a lot of great players. I'm not
That
saying
was yes,
I'm not
yes.
saying this is a bad list, but there's one picture here that bothers the living hell out of me. And I'm
Barry Sanders
glad,
is on top.
yes, it is Barry bleeping Sanders. Because in my opinion, the number one running back of all time, or at least for me, and he is literally the number one running back of all time, I am choosing Emmett bleeping Smith, brother. Why?
Because the
Three
Cowboy.
Super Bowl, three Super Bowl wins, Super Bowl MVP, all-time NFL leading rusher. What else? Probably the most durable player in NFL history. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he only missed 4 games his entire career, and 2 of those games was because of a contract dispute. I mean, 355 yards. It's never going to get broken. Derrick Henry, he's already on the down part of his career. He's nowhere near close. Saquon Barkley, he's missed half of his career to injury. This guy, if I want to win a game, now I know what they're going to say. These guys are idiots. They didn't pick Barry Sanders. In Barry Sanders' biggest games in the playoffs, he was a big dud. I think there was one game in the playoffs. I think he played against the Green Bay Packers. He had -1 yard. I cannot live with that. The one year when he beat the Cowboys, coincidentally, before we broke out and won our 3 Super Bowls, Barry Sanders was held back until he had a late breakout run that pushed him for plenty of yards in that. But one big run, he was contained most of the game because our Cowboys sucked at the time. So I am going Emmitt Smith for my number one and only running back.
Now, I got 2 things to say. One, I like the pick. I have a special soft spot in my heart for players that can go the distance. And when I say the distance, longevity and doing it at the level that he did. There's very few players that in any sport that have been able to do that. And those guys are legends in their own right. I mean, you can look at LeBron James, you can look at Cal
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ripken Jr. These guys get put on these higher echelons because they can play at such a high level for so long.
Mhm.
And to do it at a position like running back, Emmitt Smith is definitely up there. I
Can I
was
say can I say something before you continue?
yes.
Very quickly. I know I'm hogging the mic. I apologize. I know what
He's literally holding the mic to his face like he's so
yeah.
excited.
I'm a mic holder. I think I'm going to get a new that. Anyway, it's not the point. Look, I know a lot of our commenters are going to say, "Well, Barry Sanders did not have the offensive line that Emmitt Smith had." I watched Emmitt Smith my entire life. I watched Barry Sanders. I used to have a Barry Sanders jersey, which is another hot topic amongst Howlett and I. When I was a kid, and what Emmitt Smith had, yes, he had a good line, but his vision, his balance, his tenacity, he was always falling forward. He was hard to hit in a box. Barry Sanders, on the other way, yes, he was great bouncing out of bounds. He did go up the gut a couple of times. His offensive line was not great, but you know what? There's been a lot of great running backs that did not have good offensive lines. Okay. Look at Derrick Henry when he was with Tennessee, lousy as offensive line. I mean, he had Taylor Lewan, but I mean, that's it. And he was able to be productive. So I think Emmitt Smith could have been interchangeable with his style and his consistency. All right, go ahead. That's it. Go ahead.
All right. The second thing I wanted to say about that. it blows my mind that you love Emmitt Smith so much because of all the things we said, but you hate LeBron James and you hate Cal Ripken Jr. This is the same guy, just different sports.
That's a
But
conversation for another day. We'll have an
all
episode
right,
on that. Believe me.
all right, all right, all right. I'm gonna go outside the box for my next pick
Yeah.
because if we're going by positions, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a quarterback, an offensive lineman. I need to take him before you take him, so I'm going to go with my next pick. I'm going to take an offensive lineman. I'm going to take offensive tackle Anthony Munoz.
Oh,
And I can see the face,
I had him on. I had him on my list for sure. And
See,
I
it's
had
like,
to because he's the only Mexican in the league, so I wanted him. But go ahead.
yes, he was a Bengal at a
Yeah.
time when it wasn't cool to be a Bengal. When they were
That's
the
true.
Bungles,
Yeah.
he protected quarterbacks that we don't even remember their names anymore. But to be as good as he was and to be considered arguably the greatest offensive lineman of all time and to play for an organization that was so trash for so long. I think NFL.com had him as the number 1 offensive lineman on their top 100 of all time list. So, I mean, imagine what he could do if he was protecting Troy Aikman, or if he was protecting Joe Montana, or if he was protecting Tom Brady. Imagine what conversations we would be having if he had a weapon behind him that was worth protecting. So I'm going to take the offensive tackle before you take the offensive tackle. I'm going to take Anthony Munoz with my 3rd pick.
You know what? I love that pick. Now I wrote down like 5 left tackles. So all 5 of them I love. Anthony Munoz I had on the top. But I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna go left guard. And the perfect counterpart to Emmitt Smith, as they did play together and win Super Bowls together. I am going Larry Bleepin Allen. Now, look, he has become a mythical figure since his retirement, and unfortunately until his death. We've seen that TikTok video of him at the Pro Bowl, bench pressing hundreds of pounds over 40 times, like 40 racks. I mean, come on. I mean, that's impressive. And then one of my all-time favorites just got popular again about 2 or 3 years ago, was him running down a linebacker after a typical at the time Troy Aikman interception, 40 yards ahead of him, across the field. Larry Allen, you see him in this video. He is actually flat-footed, turns around to see what happens because it was a tip ball, threw everybody off, and he's able to manage to catch the guy down the field in a hilarious instance of superhuman ability. Besides that, Pro Bowls, numerous Pro Bowls. I think he is the one of the few players, if not the only one, to be on the team of the decade of the 90s and the team of the decades in the 2000s. So I want to go Larry Allen. He also played every single position on the O line. But that is my guy. Talk to me.
Just for those of you who are keeping track at home, that's 2 Cowboys and 1 guy that he said wanted to be a Cowboy. And
Yeah.
we're still
Look,
ticking.
And we're winning too, by the way. But go ahead.
It's your year. It's always your year. All right. So
2 running backs.
Yes.
2 running backs, by the way. Go ahead.
Yes. I give you a lot of crap for picking Cowboys, but you can't argue that another guy that's in NFL.com's 100 greatest players of all time, and arguably the greatest offensive lineman in Cowboys history, an organization that breeds winning and breeds success. So what I told you about what Anthony Munoz would look like if he played for a good organization, I mean, that's Larry Allen. I mean, if you put him on the Bengals, would he be the same guy? That's a conversation for another time. But he played for a good team that had good players and he's definitely in the conversation. So I'm not going to say it's a bad pick, not at all. I give you a hard time for picking Cowboys because I can. But if you're going to pick a Cowboy, I'd rather you pick a Cowboy from the past on winning teams than a modern Cowboy. So I respect Larry Allen as your offensive lineman pick. All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. I don't always hate the Cowboys. I mean, when I moved to Dallas, I didn't have any hatred. It's just the fans, they get you. It's like every day, every day, every day. But like this man across from me would say, we don't talk about the Cowboys. You guys talk about the Cowboys.
Exactly. Now I'm doing it, but
now you're doing it. But you're paid to do it now. All right. My next pick. Once again, got to get him before you get him. I'm not sure that he would be your pick.
Okay.
But for the sake of making sure I get him on my team.
Oh, please don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm going to take a tight end.
Thank you, Jesus. Go ahead. I'm not even religious, but thank you, Jesus.
I'm going to take Tony Gonzalez.
Whoa. All right, go ahead. Now look, it was on that picture that I posted earlier. So you're not wrong, but talk to me.
Okay, so here's my thinking. Now, I know there's a lot of people at home that are probably going to argue that, why Tony Gonzalez? Like, there's plenty of tight ends you could take. We're talking about, like you said earlier, we're playing the Monstars to save the world. I need a weapon that not only can block, but also is a monster athletically. Now, there's very few tight ends in the past that have the athletic ability that is required to keep up with guys like Randy Moss and Jerry Rice. I need a downfield threat that has hands, that can get up when I need him to get up, but also can sit in the box and block. There's a reason why Rob Gronkowski has been seen in modern times as one of the greats, because even though he's not that fast, he has that downhill ability, but he also could sit and he could block. I mean, right. Tony Gonzalez was Rob Gronkowski before him, but more athletic.
Right.
So in terms of tight ends, I'm not thinking about who necessarily is the greatest of all time, but who would fit the motif of my team. Because I need a receiving tight end that can block when I need him to block.
Look,
and Tony Gonzalez is the best receiving tight end of all time, statistically.
Statistically wise, you are correct. And Tony Gonzalez, a Mexican guy, I love him. You know what I mean? But as you can tell, there's a theme in my thinking here.
Hey, who's the one drafting all the Mexicans?
That is true. Well, you are half Mexican, so, apparently. So
apparently, I have to bring my birth certificate sometime.
So look, I love Tony Gonzalez, probably the best looking athlete, football player of all time. So that's cool. No homo, by the way. All right, so I'm gonna move on. I love your pick.
We're talking about
oh shit. What the hell is that? Oh wow. Oh my god. I have my TV in. All right, go ahead.
Somebody came on like, we are talking about the greatest tight end of all time, Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah.
All right. Who's your next pick?
So here we go. My number, I'm gonna go because I don't think you're gonna pick this guy, but I am going for Franco Harris, running back.
Oh, all right. Not on my list. Not on my list.
Played in 4 Super Bowls, 4-0. 2 of them are against my Cowboys. He didn't have the best games against the Cowboys in the Super Bowl because they were like 1A, 1B. Apparently, Cowboys 1B because they did beat us twice. But he is a Super Bowl MVP in the playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, he has over 1,556 total postseason yards, only behind my number 1 pick, Emmitt Smith. And I mean, he's made big moments. You're talking about the immaculate reception against your pops' favorite Oakland Raiders back in the day with John
illegal
Madden,
catch.
Which, illegal or not, it just feels like if you need a big play or a big moment, he is the guy. And that immaculate reception is arguably the most iconic moment in NFL history, but because I need this team to win to save my life. Yes, I could have had Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith, the two best running backs of the 90s, but I need to win a game today. I need win a game against the Monstars. I am picking nothing but winners. And that winner to me is Franco Harris. Right there, 7 Super Bowls combined in my backfield and 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me.
I don't like your pick. I don't like it.
We got Barry
Because
Sanders. All
once
these
again,
quiet.
I grew up in a Raider house, and Franco Harris was the he who must not be named. He was the bane of existence. Every time he was mentioned, I grew up thinking he was a garbage player that just got lucky one time. True
I just
story.
proved it to you, bro. I just
True
proved it to
story.
you.
But that's my childhood. Is Franco Harris is I don't like the Steelers. I just don't.
Hey, I hate the
There's
Steelers too. I hate them. They're our rivals.
I hate the Steelers. I've never liked them. I give Mike Tomlin a lot of credit for his success, but man, the Steelers are probably my least favorite organization besides the Chargers in all of existence.
That's so
So
random. Dude, you're talking to a team that played us 3 times in the Super Bowls, and we're 1-2, 1-3 against them. So I get it. I hate them too. So go ahead with your pick.
all right. My next pick, since you've taken 2 running backs, I'm keeping track. I'm gonna go wide receiver because I think you only drafted one of those.
I only got the one.
I'm being smart, and I don't think you were gonna draft him. I had to scour my knowledge of football history because to me, receivers are kind of a flash in the pan. You have all these great receivers that did it for such a short stint of time. It's hard to separate who is truly the greats. That's why when you talk about Jerry Rice and some of these other guys, that's what separates them apart. And I picked this guy because if he had the same length of career as Jerry Rice, we would be having a whole nother conversation. He'd be hands down the greatest receiver of all time. I'm gonna go Calvin Johnson, Megatron.
Thank you, Jesus. I didn't have
Megatron.
on my list because okay, go ahead, explain. I'll rebuttal.
Athletically, he is bar none. I mean, you look at this guy. There's hardly anybody in NFL history, minus Bo Jackson, that has been as athletic and as talented as him. And the only reason why he is not considered as on this at that Mount Rushmore level of Jerry Rice and let's say Randy Moss is because he retired early.
Okay.
It's the same conversation you would have with, let's say, Barry Sanders.
Okay.
So what do you want more? A guy that is going to take your team to the next level, who played at the highest level for his whole career, even if it was short, or do you want somebody like Emmitt Smith, who was mediocre for a long time?
I'll tell you who I want, which is Michael Irvin. Because he is.
Is that your next pick?
Yes, because
okay.
And it's going to answer your question about Calvin Johnson. Michael Irvin is everything Calvin Johnson wishes he was, or at the very least, you want as a teammate. One, he quit early, just like Barry Sanders. Things were going good, things were going bad. Oh, things are going bad. I don't want to play anymore. Does he have the physical attributes? He was so dominating, I will admit, that he could probably strap it on today and be a serviceable tight end. Okay.
Yep. I agree.
But he's missing 2 things, which is kind of the same thing. The intangibles. He's not the rah-rah guy in the locker room. He just goes out to do his business. I don't even know if he's a leader by example because he was the first one to get off the field after the games. And Irvin, on the other hand, you can argue is probably the fire starter, the emotional backbone to those dynasty years of the Cowboys. Not only that, but when it came, I mean, what is his nickname after all? It is the playmaker. Probably one of the greatest nicknames of all time. We got to have an episode on that as well. But when it came down to making a play or having a big game, it was essential. Even in losses, he was magnificent. That 1994 when they lost to the 49ers, right? To me, that was a pass interference. But him going against Dion Primetime Sanders when he was prime time, he was the guy. Michael Irvin on him, that game had 12 catches, 192 yards, and 2 touchdowns. One of the greatest individual wide receiver performances of all time. I mean, this is a guy, he had, I think, 1,300 postseason yards, more or less, and numerous touchdowns. He is who you want in your locker room. He is the first one there, the last one to leave, and he could party like a rock star and show up the next week ready to go. So
he's
that is my guy.
He's the Dennis Rodman of the NFL. That's what you're saying?
Except on offense. Yeah, for sure. That's my number 2 receiver.
All right. Just so we're keeping track, that's 3 Cowboys out of 7 picks.
And like I said before,
no, 3 out of 6.
I am winning too, by the way. I am winning by far. Go ahead.
Michael Irvin. I figured you draft him. He's a good receiver.
Dude, look. I'm going to read you some stats here. All right.
Okay, go ahead. Read stats.
16 postseason games, 87 receptions, 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns, 6 100-yard games in the play. I'm talking about playoffs and the Super Bowl. 3 rings in against the 49ers in 92, the big bad 49ers. He has 6 catches for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns. They go to the Super Bowl. That year in the first Super Bowl, first Super Bowl is very challenging because it's the first time, you're nervous, all that good stuff. He has 6 catches for 114 yards and 2 touchdowns. Did it again the next year to the 49ers, 126 yards. That 1994 when they lost, had 192 yards. The 95 year when they won. I mean, the guy, when it's time to play, he's going to do it. I could depend on him. Go for it.
All right. So I'm going to challenge your whole basis for drafting Michael Irvin. The greatest playoff receiver of all time is my guy, Jerry Rice. Statistically, nobody was better than Jerry Rice in the playoffs. Then, if you look it up, the second greatest playoff receiver of all time is actually none other than Julian Edelman. But that's because Tom Brady can't go.
I have Julian Edelman on my list, by the way.
Julian Edelman. If you go just straight single run, because he didn't have very many runs, based on the little bit of playoff experience he had, Larry Fitzgerald was even better than Michael Irvin, statistically. I mean, not as many games. I mean, Michael Irvin was part of that dynasty for the Cowboys, so he went 3 years, 4 or 5 years in a row.
Who did you say was better than? Who was better?
Larry Fitzgerald.
I have him on my list. I do. Okay, go ahead.
So, your basis for drafting Michael Irvin, Larry Fitzgerald has one of the most insane statistics that he has.
I know which one you're talking about. Which is why he's on my list.
He has more tackles in his career than drops. And I like Larry Fitzgerald. I already drafted my 2 receivers, so I'm not going to draft another one. But, I think the sexiness of Michael Irvin is that star on his helmet. And sometimes I just don't think you can look past that star. It's just so beautiful to you.
It is the best logo in sports, for sure.
All right. So I'm going to go with my next pick. You actually talked me out of this pick. So I switched it in the middle of our draft. My next pick is going to be a running back. And originally it was going to be Barry Sanders. But you spent so much time talking down on Barry Sanders.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
kind of
gonna
the flaw in this whole thing.
I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna draft Jim Brown.
Oh,
Jim Brown.
hold on. He didn't play in the Super Bowl. This is Super Bowl era. Which, because
Ah,
I would have honestly, he would have been. I would have picked him before Joe Montana, my first pick.
all right. You're right. So, man, all right. So I need a second. I need to
Go
to
ahead, go ahead.
think about my running back. So
Take your pick. Come on.
I'm gonna draft a kicker. Can't-
Wow, really?
I can't.
Already?
Yeah, I'm gonna draft a kicker because
Go
I
ahead.
need time to marinate on my running back
Oh my
because
god.
I
Well, all
really
my
don't.
running backs are picked, so it's cool.
Yes, so I don't have to fight over running back. That's what I want. I'm gonna draft Adam Vinatieri.
Good pick. Good pick. Good pick.
So we're talking about winners.
Yes.
I mean, he's synonymous with the modern Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, him and Tom Brady, what they have 5 rings? No, Brady had one with Tampa Bay, so he has 4 rings,
They
4 rings.
shared Super Bowls. I mean, kickers.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, as a baby Raider fan, I'm not a Raider fan, by the way, for everybody at home. I watched him kick that ball in the snow to beat the Raiders after the stupid tuck rule.
How did your pops feel about that, by the way, watching that shit?
Hey, it's up there with the Franco, the Franco catch,
Oakland tends to get their
the
ass
tuck,
kicked
yes,
in
the
moments
tuck
like
rule.
that.
So,
Yeah.
but hey, he was clutch. I mean, this
Yeah,
man
yeah,
never
yeah.
missed when you need him to miss. Now, did he
It
have
is
the
true.
leg? Did he have the leg that, let's say, Sebastian Janikowski or who's the Tucker, your boy Tucker?
Longhorn, by the way.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I mean, he didn't have the leg that those guys did, but I mean, he was consistent. He did it in the tough games. He did it in the moments. And you like you said, I mean, I need rings. I need leaders because my roster right now is besides, Jerry Rice, Calvin Johnson has nothing. I don't think Anthony Munoz won any rings, and I don't think Tony Gonzalez has a ring. So Walter
Look,
Payton does, I think.
has
as
one
well.
ring. Yes, yes.
Yes. So I need rings. So Adam Vinatieri is going to bring all the rings to my lineup.
Okay. All right. Well, look, he's on my list for sure. I agree with you. Vinatieri, I mean, he was clutch. He had big moments. So I think that's a little too high for a kicker, if you ask me, because there were great kickers. But all right, all right. So good job. Good job. Good
Well, I
pick.
mean, if you look, I need a quarterback, and I needed a running back, and I needed a kicker. And you already drafted your quarterback. You don't
Yes,
need any
I did.
running backs.
Nope.
So I took a kicker. And if we're drafting based on what our team needs, I mean, I can pick whoever I want from those two. Those will be my next 2 picks.
Okay. So my next pick is a center. Now I know everybody wants me to pick Jason Kelsey, Tush Push, the brother-in-law of Swifty, Taylor Swift, whatever you want to call it. But I'm not going to go that route because his one game in the Super Bowl, they did not win. And I need a game to save my life. I don't want a playground team like your team. Okay. Your team is a playground team and
Greatest
very quiet players.
playground team of all time, by the way.
Very quiet team because Rice was never a talker. He wasn't a motivator. Calvin Johnson never said a word either. I don't even know how he sounds. But anyways, I am going to go Mike Webster from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know I'm neither picking Cowboys or Steelers, by the way. That's the way it looks like. Dude, 4 Super Bowl rings. Okay. He was the protector at Terry Bradshaw, the protector. He opened up the gaps of Franco Harris. I mean, the center has to be the smartest guy on the team besides the quarterback. And if I got Mike Webster in there, I feel very confident. Now, yes, the joke is he is the reason why we talk about CTE today. Injuries today. The movie with Will Smith, I think the first part of the movie was with talking about Mike Webster and his brain being that much depleted. I mean, the football helmets back in the days were as thin as cardboard. So But if I needed to win a game, I need a guy to read defenses. I needed a guy to be able to signal to the quarterback, my guy Joe Montana, to be where there's changes happening to audible on the defensive line and the linebacker fronts. I want Mike Webster. All righty. So if I'm correct, right now I got 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 NFL rings right now. Go ahead.
Yes, well, not everything's about rings, because if I'm putting together a team, I mean, let's look at baseball wise. I mean, who has the most rings right now? Let's say Clayton Kershaw. Am I going to bring in a 40-year-old pitcher? No, you got to bring in who's going to win with the team you have. So I'm not building a team based on past rings. I'm building a team because I'm going to run them out there against your team, and my team's going to whoop your team down. All right. Impossible. All right. So you inspired me. I'm going to go with the center because I think you missed the greatest center of all time. I think that, I mean, you probably, in my mind, Webster wasn't even on list. I'm going to say if I had to pick,
Go ahead.
off my head, off my brain, 5 centers, he would not be one of the ones. So I'm going to take
with that.
the greatest center of all time. I'm going to take Jim Otto. Sorry if my dad's watching this, if he sees this, he had nothing to do with this decision at all. I actually I dislike the Raiders more than I dislike the Cowboys. But Jim Otto is probably the only Raider that I would ever consider.
Great.
I would ever consider drafting on an all-time team, because I don't consider Randy Moss a Raider because he didn't do jack crap for the Raiders. But Jim Otto, 100%. I mean, 12 Pro Bowls. I don't know if center, I don't know if there's offensive linemen. Most offensive linemen don't even play half a career, and let alone 12 Pro Bowls. His longevity was outstanding. And as a coach myself, finding a center that's going to anchor your team for one season, let alone we're talking 15 seasons, 20 seasons. Jim Otto had the longevity, and he played at the highest level, and he's a winner.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't even think he missed a game, So, I mean, I know he had, I think there's a reel or a TikTok video of not John Gruden, the brother, Jay Gruden, saying something that he had like over 100 surgeries or something like that. I could be quoting him wrong, but I love that pick. The 00. If I'm not mistaken, he was 00, right?
00, yes.
So yeah, I mean that's a phenomenal pick. He does have I think 1 ring, right? So that puts you on the board. So
I have to go back and count. I'll do it.
I love that pick, and I'm not a Raider guy either, which we'll talk about in the second segment here. But okay, I love that pick. Good job. Over 70 surgeries. I just looked it up right now. 210 consecutive starts. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. Now, mine is not even in the Hall of Fame. My pick next. But the short time he played, not only did he have multiple Super Bowl rings, but he was known as, and we're going to talk about him next week when we draft our defense. He was known as the Reggie White stopper. As a matter of fact, there's plenty of videos of my guy destroying Reggie White and Reggie White showing frustration. And he has been, if I'm not mistaken, there are multiple videos, and I think there was one list that had him as the scariest man in NFL history. And that is Eric Williams from the Dallas Cowboys. Are we there? Are we
five Cowboys?
5 Cowboys already? In the time he played, 4 Pro Bowls, 3 first-team All-Pros in his short career, 3-time Super Bowl champion known as Big E. You know, he was part of, let's just say that he was mean, he was aggressive, he was bullying. Unfortunately, because of, he liked to party with Michael Irvin during that time, and that caught up to him. And he will get into a car crash, kind of not, I don't want to say disabling him, but when he would try to make his comeback, he was not the same player anymore, leaving him to retire earlier than he wanted. I mean, in the 90s, people would say he is the greatest right tackle of the 90s. If not, if he would have played a whole career, probably would have been the best of all time. John Madden loved him because he was a mauler. He was one of those guys that would push down the defensive end and purposely fall on him on top, like pancake him. So that is my pick with 3 more Super Bowls. Go ahead.
All this guy wants is Super Bowls. All right.
I got to win. I have to win.
Okay. So I'm going to make my next pick. He's a guard. And I'm going to pick him because I need a little bit of my own touch to my team and something that you can't possibly have. I'm going to take from the 1972 Miami Dolphins, Larry Little.
Okay. My dad loved that guy. Go ahead.
So he won 2 rings, by the way, 2 rings on the undefeated 1972 Miami Dolphins. He started in 156 out of 180 games. So we're talking, he, once again, longevity and sheer willpower. And he is an NFL Hall of Famer. I needed a Dolphin. I mean,
for those that don't know, that is your favorite team.
Yes, I am a Dolphin fan. I give him crap about the Cowboys, but we haven't done anything in 50 years. So it is what it is. So Larry Little, 2 more rings to my thing and an undefeated season. He's also ranked number 7 greatest guard of all time.
Okay.
I'm at 18 rings. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm at 9.
Okay. I my dad, he loved the 70s. One of the facts that my dad always talks about is that, going to your Raiders, by the way, I think the Raiders and the Cowboys played in almost every AFC, NFC championship every year. So the idea was that the Cowboys and the Raiders could have played each other throughout the 70s numerous times in the Super Bowl, but one of them choked every single time, and the Cowboys included, by the way. And he would always talk about how the Dolphins was that team, I think it was a no-name defense, right?
Yes.
With the no-name defense. And he loved them too. They were a young, flashy team. I think their last loss before they went undefeated was against my Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Or was that the year after?
It was the year after.
Yeah. So we ended their
undefeated run. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
It goes one way or the other. I know it's something like that, but
it was. They
awesome
beat the
pick.
undefeated team.
That's a good retro pick. I like that. All right. So my pick is Zach Martin from the Dallas Cowboys as a right guard. Now, because I have Super Bowls to spare, I'm okay with Zach Martin. He is the only rookie, by the way, since like the 1940s to be All-Pro as a rookie. Okay. One of my favorite stats about him, and I know it was like a meme a couple of years ago, was that he has only allowed in his whole career 10 holding penalties. That is unbelievable. And I'll top it with this. In his NFL career, in 148 games, he has only allowed 12 sacks in 148 games. So what do you want here? Yes, does he not have the rings? That is not on him, my man. That is on Jerry Jones and our idiots that we tend to draft. But he was the only home run guy outside of Michael Parsons, rest in peace, in Green Bay, all that stuff. Did you hear about his contract? How he's lost like because of the taxes and everything. It's it was like a dumb move. But anyways, I mean, come on, bro. I have to go Zach Martin, 9 seasons, only holding about once a year and committing zero holding penalties in the year 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So that's my guy.
All right. So I'm going to give you a little bit of credit. According to the list I'm looking at, they have Larry Little as the number 6 greatest guard of all time, and they have Zach Martin at number 7. So you might have been onto something, but that is 5 Cowboys. 5 Cowboys.
Yes.
So
Winning
not a
story.
bad. I mean, he's not one of the winning Cowboy players. He's a modern Cowboy player. So that whole thing I said earlier about at least you're picking a Cowboy from a generation where they won, and then you went and did this. So
Mhm.
I will accept your pick, but there are better picks. I'm going to fill in because I still need a quarterback and a running back. And you already took. Have you taken 2 tackles or 2 guards?
You need a left tackle and a right tackle, specifically right tackle.
Yes, I've got. But did you take both?
No, I'm missing my left tackle.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take quarterback. I'm going to try to bridge the gap in your ring scenario here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to take the GOAT with 7 rings,
Oh, catching up. I love it.
Tom Brady.
Yes. All right. Go for it.
Now, what I like about Tom Brady, I'm going to there's 2 things that and I'm going to keep it short for time purposes. There's 2 things that I respect about Tom Brady. One, he's a winner, and not a winner in terms of rings. He's a winner
I agree.
because he was willing to make the sacrifices that it took, both contractually, money wise, but also in terms of leadership. He was willing to compromise when he needed to compromise in order to put a winning team around him. And look at quarterbacks today. They chase the money, they chase the bank, and at the end of the day, Dak Prescott, it hurts the team in the long run.
Yeah.
Tom Brady was never that guy. I respect
100%.
that. The second thing is he had a decent arm to start his career. He wasn't always the greatest, and as he got older, his arm strength diminished, and he evolved. And he was the king of the slot receiver. He made the slot receiver sexy in the modern NFL. He find these white guys that have zero breakaway speed, but they're shifty. Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, and he turned them into these monsters because his play recognition, his ability to get rid of the ball quick was next level. He didn't need the big arm strength. He didn't need to throw the ball 70 yards downfield. You give me Jerry Rice and Tom Brady, and nobody is stopping me.
I'm going to tell you why I did not pick Tom Brady. And look, he is the ultimate winner for sure. 7 rings, unbelievable. I cannot deny that. And I thought about it. Who do I want, Brady or Montana? I hated Joe Montana because he ended the Cowboys dynasty from the 70s. Okay. And he started his own dynasty. He was flawless in the Super Bowls. Tom Brady, I cannot say that. That year he went undefeated. Now, look, did he lose that Super Bowl? Was it his fault? He would say it is because that's what quarterbacks do. They take if you're a leader, you take responsibility, win, lose, or draw. Even if a wide receiver drops a pass, you take the responsibility. But he lost that, and he lost to 2 New York Giant teams, and that to me
One was on a
was
fluke, the helmet catch. I mean, come on.
I mean, yes, but oh man, to go undefeated. You have Randy Moss. You have all these phenomenal weapons at that time. A great defense. People never really talk about his defense from the early 2000s, his first 3 that he went, but that was a phenomenal defense that he had. And the fact that he couldn't close the undefeated game, against a limping in. I think the Giants were a wild card, if I'm not mistaken. Like that team was not a threat, and the fact that they couldn't close the deal with them, that's a big thing. I think Joe Montana would have handled them easily if the quarterbacks were different, switched. They were kind of the same quarterback, anyways. So that's why I did not pick them. I'm great. I'm grateful that you did. Okay, I'm surprised you didn't go Troy Aikman, but all right.
Why would I ever draft a Cowboy?
Have you drafted a Cowboy, by the way?
No, because you've drafted them all.
No wonder you're losing. All right.
They're on your whole team. You should only get credit for the rings one time. If you draft every '90s Cowboy player, you should only get 3 rings total.
So I'm gonna pick another Cowboy as my left tackle. I'm going Tyron. No, I'm joking. I'm actually going a UCLA Bruin, your school, for my pick, and that is Jonathan Ogden from the Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
Now,
more rings.
Yeah. Super Bowl ring, right? He has only one, so it is what it is. But look, this is a guy, 11-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first team All Pro, 2000s All Decade team, already in the Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame. He was 6'9", 345 pounds, brother. And he could move. It looked like he had ballerina feet on that line as he was shuffled to the left. We're going to do next week our best defense. And you better have somebody there that can push him down, which probably wouldn't happen, or move around him. So he was the first round, I think the 3rd or 4th pick. That is my guy. I mean, you can argue. If you're going to draft a player, like maybe not, like do an all-time NFL draft from the beginning of time, because most teams like to draft as a first pick a left tackle. You can argue he would be the first pick in NFL history because of that height and that movement.
That's hard to hear.
But anyways, hey, left tackles get drafted number 1 all the time.
That's hard to hear. When there's no quarterback to draft, they get drafted first.
Okay, well then he'll be the 2nd pick. He'll probably. What I'm saying is he'll probably be the first left tackle drafted of all time.
All right, I need a right tackle, I need a left guard, and I need one more running back. Okay, so I'm gonna go with a right tackle, and I'm gonna draft him because of versatility. I'm gonna take Bruce Matthews.
I have Bruce Matthews. Good job.
He played every position on the offensive line throughout his career. So, I mean, if you're drafting somebody who knows the game, I mean, if you could play every position of the offensive line and be next level and considered the greatest, arguably the greatest at your position, and do it from every position that you play, then you're talking a legit draft pick. Bruce Matthews, I don't think he has any rings because he was an Oiler, but he definitely, I think he hit double-digit Pro Bowls, so he definitely is up there in terms of accolades, but no rings. Bruce Matthews is my right tackle. My left tackle was Anthony Munoz.
That is solid. Bruce Matthews, I don't think he missed a game either, if I'm not mistaken. I know all his sons they all went in the NFL too, and I think they're all bust. But no, Bruce Matthews, he was a monster. I always hated every Houston team because obviously Dallas, you need to pick Dallas or Houston. But the guy was always there. He was a man child with what's his name, Childress, the other lineman. But go ahead.
I picked a Houston player before I picked a Dallas player.
All right, my next guy is a kicker. And I'm going to go another Patriot, Steven Gostkowski. I can never say that name. I mean, this is a guy who has 3 Super Bowls. I mean, he didn't have the impact that Vinatieri did. But when you look at the stats, you look at the career, he has 205 playoff points, which would rank as a top career total scorer for an entire franchise. in the playoffs. He took over Vinatieri when he had monster shoes to fill. He did great in that. And the guy was also, just a straight up winner. 3 rings. I want the rings. I want a kicker that when it's time to kick, he is going to make it. So that is my guy as a 39 field goals in the postseason career for
Yes,
Metro.
and if I'm gonna take a Patriots kicker because of their ability to win, then I have to acknowledge that Gostkowski is just as big of an asshole as Vinatieri. I'm gonna take my guard, my last guard. I'm gonna take Alan Faneca. Now, I really didn't want to take a Steeler. I really didn't want to take a Steeler, but I'd rather take a Steeler than a Cowboy. And Alan Faneca at left guard only missed 6 games
Mm,
in his whole career.
yeah.
Once he became a starter in his third year, he missed 1. So we're talking, like you said before, like I've said countless times. I mean, you got to respect the guys that dog it through over and over and over again. And those are what separate a lot of these picks from the wannabes is that they played at the highest level consistently for a whole career. And another one, retired early. He didn't play. He retired in his early 30s, but he's got his rings. I added some more rings to my list, I believe, because he's a Steeler. He's
Look,
got to have a
I
ring.
yeah, I mean, how's your dad gonna feel about Faneca?
Well, Faneca's a 90s 2000s. He didn't play for that Franco team.
Okay, okay, I respect that. Your dad's gonna either love my team. I think he's gonna love my team more than your team.
Oh, he's like, why didn't you draft Kenny Stabler?
All right, good call.
He has 1 championship. I added 1 more ring. I got 19
So
total.
I decided to add a little humor to this episode,
Oh,
and the idea of putting this guy as my last pick and as a tight end, I think he would find humor in, and he would laugh about it. And that is Gronk. All
yes,
right, my man.
I love him as a person. I love watching him. He has transcended football for me. And you explain why you picked him. I love this pick. It's great.
Look,
I already
you're
brought him up
right.
once. I
You're
did bring
right.
him up.
Yeah. Fantastic personality. You're right. Yeah. I liked him more off the field than on the field. The question is, before I give you the stats, would he have been the player he would have been if Aaron Hernandez did not, murk somebody?
I was gonna say if it wasn't for Aaron Hernandez messing up his life, no, because I think Aaron Hernandez was more athletic, which means if we're
He
talking
was. He was.
Tom Brady needing a receiver downfield coming out of the backfield, I think Aaron Hernandez would have got more catches. Gronk has always been a next level blocking tight end.
Right.
And when you talk about being able to run protect, and lead block, I mean he's next level. But if Aaron Hernandez was still around, he wouldn't have gotten the catches that he got.
I agree. I think we're talking about a totally different story. I think Hernandez, those first 2 years that he played, he was the guy. I mean, it looked like, when he needed a play to happen, it was going to Aaron. But that's not what happened. So why did I pick Gronk? Well, listen, in 22 postseason games, he had 98 catches for 1,389 yards, 15 touchdowns. He has 4 Super Bowl wins. In the Super Bowl, he has 5 touchdowns, most by any tight end in Super Bowl history. Uh, and, like you just mentioned before, a great block catching tight end. Imagine him going audibling to the left and coming in and chipping with Ogden, a 6'9" behemoth, on one side, or him going to the other side with the baddest, meanest man in NFL history, Eric Williams, and chipping off of him. Who are you going to draft next week that's going to push my ends to the ground?
I
So
got a couple of ideas.
he's probably the most dominant postseason NFL tight end of all time. I thought about Mark Bavaro from the Giants. I thought about your dad's Tight end from the 70s, Casper. I forgot his first name.
Goes to the post.
Yeah, goes to the post. So that is my thing. 15 playoff touchdowns, 5 Super Bowl touchdowns. That's who I got.
All
So
right. And I'm gonna pick with my last pick. My last pick comes from my childhood, watching this guy do his thing. Looking back, this is the reason why you don't draft running back. You don't give running backs big contracts. I'm gonna take the greatest single season running back of all time,
okay.
and I know I hate them, but it's better than drafting a cowboy. I'm gonna draft a Charger,
Really? Oh, Danian Thomas.
Ladainian Tomlinson.
Okay.
Now, like I said, a
Okay.
little soft spot in my heart. But I really do like running backs that can do it all, minus the whole blocking thing, because
Hmm.
he never was a bruiser. But in terms of what a running back can do and the abilities that they had when he had the ball in his hands, this guy was next level. He had double digit touch here until he hit 30 and then
Mm.
dropped off the face of the earth after that.
Yeah. Well, they
But
changed the offensive game because of. Well, anyways, go ahead.
yes, because he was not much of a receiving back. He had 1 year where he had 100 receptions, but every other year he was 50 or less. Now, when you're talking about a receiving running back, uh, you know, 50 receptions when you're in the game every single series is not a whole lot. But he did
Hmm.
have that one season where he had 28
Yeah.
rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's and that's just ridiculous. He led the NFL in touchdowns 3 separate times. He led the NFL in total yards twice. Like he was a monster for I'm not gonna say a short amount of time because when you are that good until you're in your 30s, that's not a short amount of time. He is the antithesis of Emmett Smith. Like we're talking about bottled power, and
Right.
your Emmett Smith was that and more for forever. But how many Emmett Smiths are there? I picked Ladanian because from my childhood, I loved him. Loved watching him play. He never won, so I couldn't really hate him. My dad, being a Raider fan, hates the Chargers. I hate everything San Diego. I know you're wearing that stupid Padre hat right now. I hate everything San Diego, but you got to respect 28 touchdowns. And it wasn't his, I mean, like I said, he led the NFL 3 times in touchdowns. He led it
Hmm.
twice in rushing yards. So it's not like he had one season and that was it. But LaDainian Tomlinson, Hall of Famer, uh, NFL MVP, he's my very last pick. And he probably
Okay.
could still be playing today. He's only in his 40s.
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe. All right. So these are our teams. Everybody in the comments, tell us who you think won. Um, Call us idiots, whatever you want to do. Do you actually agree more with the one online, or do you agree with Hallett or me or both or whatever? Give us your thoughts in the comments and we will reply as much as possible. You have any closing thoughts on this segment of our episode? Any
Yes.
guys you missed out that you're kind of like, I wish I got this guy.
No, I had my list.
Mhm.
I didn't have
Any
anything
rules by any
specific.
chance?
Uh, my one closing comment is that I have my greatest team of all time with Walter Payton, Tom Brady, Jerry Rice, and they are literally going up against the Dallas Cowboys. So
Well, look, I want to close right here real quickly. This episode idea kind of happened off camera. One year when we were teaching, I think we were doing state testing, and Will and I were in charge of protecting the restrooms, and we're like bored out of we were bored out of our minds for about 5 hours, and we're like, dude, let's just do a draft, and then we did a draft, and we had other teachers grade us and everything, and so we kind of wanted to bring it back.
I
So
did the draft. I did the draft again at my new school, and just as ridiculous
yeah,
because Cowboy fans everywhere.
of course, you're in Dallas, of course.
I know.
Um, all right, so go ahead, make sure you guys like and subscribe, leave comments, and we thank you all very much.
Absolutely.
So
Until next time, we get to see which defense is the best. My defense is going to destroy your offense.
I doubt it.
I'm gonna show you how great I am. We're not worthy.
I said, empty your mind.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations